Guys, welcome back. You know that the R.E.D. podcast studio has merged with the Cinema Scale. So this is the very first R.E.D. movie review, as it were, obviously supported by the Cinema Scale. And here with me to make this extraordinary review on the Super Mario Bros. Movie is an expert. Now, you guys may know him as my brother-in-law, but he's an expert. Been playing the game since he was 1 year old, just owning it. You know what I mean? So right now he has something that he wants to show you guys, his very own collector's edition. Share that with them. Let them know.
Guys, to celebrate the Super Mario movie release, as a longtime player, longtime fan, Italian plumber myself, is the Monopoly Gamer Edition. Now this comes with 4 set pieces right there, as you can see on that side of the screen. And can't wait to open up this baby and play it. Super excited for that.
I think that's going to be good. I think that's going to be, because obviously you play Monopoly usually with 6 people, but because it's Mario Edition, it may take longer than the average. What are some of the pieces? You have Mario in there, you have Peach.
You got Mario, you got Peach Yoshi, and then, of course, my boy, Donkey Kong.
Obviously, we know that's short for DK. So you guys know that we review these movies, and there's 10 things. There's 10 things that makes a movie extraordinary. We're talking plot, attraction, theme, acting, dialogue, cinematography, editing, soundtrack, directing, and the it factor, the plot. When you walk into the theater, okay, if you're a true Mario's fan, you are going to love this plot from the beginning to the end. We know that Nintendo was heavily involved in this film. Me personally, for the plot, I loved how it was so connected to the game itself. It was realistic. It was everything that you would expect from a plot for a Mario's movie. DK, what did you particularly enjoy about the plot?
I like that the story was relatable, in a sense that going into this movie theater, Mario was faced with. Can we talk a little bit about some of the things?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a spoiler, but be forewarned that in the movie, Mario is faced with the feeling of not being good enough. And that's a feeling that many of us can come across every now and then. And so he goes through this journey to kind of prove himself, not for others, but to himself, that he is the guy or the person that he believes himself to be. And so he discovers that at the end of the movie. But I just like the way that, him and Luigi get sucked into this world of crazy imagination. And they did a really good job mixing in just everything.
I think it's true to the originals, because a lot of people don't realize that in the game you're jumping through these tubes and you're going through these pipes because they're plumbers. So I really feel like the movie gave the due credit to where they started. They're plumbers. They jump into this magical world, as it were, transported there, and then they're interwoven into or integrated into the plot of a magical world, which we know as the video game.
That's right. Shout out to any of the viewers from New York, because these guys are from Brooklyn, hands down, baby. And if you had the chance to watch the original the 90s movie, the first one that came out, they're also Italian brothers from Brooklyn. So they stay true. They stay true to the characters. You gotta love the director for that.
You really do. So now we're coming on to point 2, guys. The attraction, the premise, and the entertainment value. Were you attracted? Were you entertained?
Hands down, it's a Super Mario movie. Everything that you expected, they gave it and more. So.
I definitely, attraction-wise, it's a movie like that, you have to be realistic. So you're going to find some nice moments in which it's like, oh, wow, that's nostalgic. I love that. And you're going to be attracted to it if you are informed. So if you're someone that's not informed about Mario's, or you never played the games, as it were, it's going to be just a kiddie movie for you. You're not going to really be attracted to it. But I think that everyone can find some type of entertainment in it. If you want to go to catch it with a friend or see it with a girl or whatever the case is for a date, you will find some entertainment.
It's family friendly.
Right.
So even if you're a long time Mario fan, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you got your own kids now. You take it. It's just a family friendly game. The kids don't even have to know anything about anything. So what it is it's a story that introduces the young ones into these characters, but then it's also a homage to the older players. So it's good. It's good for everybody.
Yeah, that's definitely right. Now going to number 3, our third point, theme, identity, and depth. Were you able to identify with the film, and was there depth that you felt to it? We talked about it a little bit in the plot, but as far as the identity factor, yeah, you can definitely identify with these characters, and they definitely identify with the game, which is so important to gamers, longtime gamers, and fans, because that's where it started. So they have to be able to build character development identity around that game, those games that we've come to love and cherish, and then have some depth involved in it.
Yeah, that was good.
That was pretty good, right?
Well covered.
So I know that for me personally, I'm all about the adventure, and that's the depth aspect. The depth aspect of it, you're getting that adventure, and you're going to feel good while it takes you from beginning to end, and you're going to feel good throughout the entire film. So that brings us to number 4, the acting, the characters and their performance.
Well, it's CGI, so obviously, the acting really comes with the voice, right? The voice acting. Nothing of notable significance. All the voice actors did a really well job. I would say, actually, the one that stood out to me the most was Princess Peach, and her voice actor. She really, at times, you could really feel that emotion, right? That she was giving behind Princess Peach's character. So I definitely, you pulled that up. Who's the actress?
Yeah, so that's Anya Taylor-Joy.
Right.
She is the actress for Princess Peach. But I also enjoyed watching, and I don't know what it is. I did enjoy Mario. Let's find Chris Pratt. Always great. Love Chris Pratt. But Jack Black, man, as Bowser, it's like, because Jack Black, if you follow Jack through his movies, he rarely plays a villain. And so to be able to see him take on the role of a villain in this particular film and then play it well, and then he balanced the comedy, because the comedy aspect, it's really dependent on that, antagonist, that's Bowser, right, in that film. So for him to be able to level out comedy and carry the role of a villain, I thought that was spot on, man.
Yeah. Princess Peach stood out to me. Mm-hmm. Her voice actress, and the one I have to give a thumbs down to was Seth Rogen, man, in Donkey Kong.
Oh wow!
He in his interviews he stated that he just wasn't gonna try, that he was just gonna speak how he normally speaks. No. He didn't want to put any depth behind it, or whatever the case is. And I get it, it's not for everybody. And if it was up to me, I would have gone with somebody else, honestly. But all in all, they all did a great job. So that was good too.
I think mainly because for Donkey Kong, he was a main character in this film. He carries on with the plot at some point. So for Seth to say, I'm not going to bring any entertainment value to that, then that's kind of a slap in the face.
I can definitely see them build more with his character. Mm-hmm. So I hope Seth gets his acting in gear, because the guy's ridiculous.
Yeah, Seth Rogen can be a bit shady, as it were. Now, point number 5, dialogue, storytelling, and context. The context was beautiful, guys. We're still dealing with the video games, so you can't go into the movies and look at it as if it's a normal movie that was created from the ground up. You have to look at it as in connection with the game. So as far as the context of the film, I thought they did very well just shouting out the games. You can see that Nintendo was thoroughly involved through and through. And then the storytelling, it was great. They gave Mario a background. They could have just threw him in this magical world and just had him defeat Bowser, but they didn't. They gave him a goal to reach, and towards the end of that movie, he sees the need to reach that goal, and then he acquires that goal towards the end of the film.
Yeah, for all my short kings out there, just eat your mushrooms. Eat your mushrooms.
That is funny, man. Kind of like Popeye the Sailor eating spinach.
That's what I'm saying.
So now 6. This is where it gets really dicey. Cinematography, the visual language, the lighting, the setting, and the wardrobe. All of that falling into that category.
The CGI people did a really good job. Yeah, no, hands down. I mean, everything was it was colorful when it needed to be. It was dark when it needed to be. Spooky, cheerful. It really put whatever scene you found the characters in, you really felt like you were there. So it was good. I mean, actually, I don't know if you saw my face light up when they were traveling through the different worlds. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, this is dope, man.
There's this particular point that I really appreciate in this scene with Peach, where she's going through this obstacle course in connection with the video game, and she jumps in the air, and then the camera pivots, and then she's falling down on an angle, so we're able to see her going down towards the obstacle course, and that was just beautifully done.
Yeah. It was good. Traveling through the worlds, right? They did that. And then especially on Rainbow Road.
That was nice.
That was good.
There's a nice go-kart scene shouting out Mario Kart that you'll really love, because that's more of a climax of the film. So the editing, the pace, and the effects, number 7. How do you think they matched up with that editing wise?
You said the pace?
The pace and the effects.
I felt like they could have thrown in maybe another like 8 to 10 minutes of story and world development. Just a little bit. Other than that, the pace was all right. You know, you had a start, you had a beginning, you had the middle, the climax, and then of course Mario reaching, Bowser's castle at the end. So it was good. The pace was all right.
I think personally it could have just drag out some scenes a little bit more, let us feel a little bit more emotion toward the pace of the film.
Yes.
But I wouldn't, because of the pace factor, like everything else is checking off. So we got 6 so far out of 10. I would say the pacing and effects, it's not enough for me to say it's going to be a problem for you, because you're dealing with a children's film. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So the pacing would be a little bit different than from an adult film. But I will say it was very different from their other films. Like, this is Illumination Studios, right? This is so from, like Minions and Despicable Me. It was a bit different.
It was definitely quicker.
Right.
Yeah. Because if you compare it to Minions, the Minions grew Despicable Me, right?
Yeah.
Even like The Secret Life of Pets. Like, you can, as you watch the movie progress, you can see a clear path and how the director and CGI people took their time with the story plot. With the Mario movie, I can understand why it felt a little rushed, because it was a new experiment for them, and there's going to be a lot more world development. And so I believe with the success of this movie, they're going to take that and expound on the world of Mario.
Yeah, that would be definitely nice to see.
Yeah.
Point number 8, guys, now soundtrack. Sound design, film score, amazing, man. Like, they, down to every musical composition from the video games.
I cried.
Like, even from, it was amazing. And then they put them at the right time. Like, that is so important.
Oh, my goodness.
Even down to the end credits. Like, you are literally,
man.
It makes you want to play the game after.
Makes me want to put my headphones in and just listen to the soundtrack.
It's amazing. Like, it's just, I really appreciate the music aspect of it. And they used the perfect song. They used Hero. I need a hero.
Yeah, I like the way they mixed like the 80s, 90s music theme, but with like the Mario theme music that was more updated with like an orchestra background.
Correct. Because that's where they started from back in the time. So the soundtrack, guys, really good.
And they got Luigi's ringtone.
Right.
With the old school Mario.
So very nice. Very nice. The directing, I think the director did a phenomenal job. Actually, there were 2 directors in this case, Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic. So I think that they did a really, really good job. I'm personally not so familiar with these directors, but I have seen previous shows. For example, one of the directors here, Aaron Horvath, he did Teen Titans. He was involved in that a little bit, Cartoon Network shows, etc. It says here that he did the Teen Titans movie, but I think that the 2 of them together, because some people work better as a team, I think the 2 of them worked really well as a team.
Who was the other one, Michael?
Michael Jelenic, and he also worked on those projects, Batman vs. Two-Face, Teen Titans Go, there's Wonder Woman there. So they have some animation experience, and I think that they worked well together to be able to make this come to life for us. And they must have been very susceptible to the opinions and thoughts of Nintendo for this to be able to work out like this. So I thought that was pretty good as well. There on our last point, right? So that now brings us to number 10. So we talked about the directing, the vision, the execution. I think that directors, they did a phenomenal job. They really executed well. And then those moments where you needed to be able to capture each character. Bowser, the way he was executed was nice. I really appreciate the twist on Peach's character, the way she's more of a person that's more of a go-getter than just a helpless princess. She really, we're expounding on that word princess nowadays. Like it's just not damsel in distress, as it were. It's a woman with responsibility, and they really depicted that well in Peach. And there's going to be a lot of Peach fans out there.
Yeah. I mean, Peach has standalone games that she's featured in. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's a character selection in a lot of video games nowadays, and in this movie it's not so much, hey, I'm an independent woman, I can do this, mm-hmm. as opposed to, hey, Mario, I see certain qualities that could help me out. Let's work together, and that was really good. I like that.
Now that brings us to number 10, guys. A cinema scale review is not complete without that it factor. It's the one of a kind, transcendent thing that made the movie over the top, and that's our final rating. So right now we're literally at a 9 out of 10 because we're taking off the editing and the pace. But the it factor, for me personally, I think the it factor was how they developed each individual character. I really appreciated the ending, man, because they literally took you through the video game step by step in a way that if you don't have experience with the games, you'll get the concept of the game based on watching the movie. And that's so important. There was just some really outstanding things that they did, which really gave homage to, again, everything that a true gamer would love to see on film. You're supposed to have that nostalgia. You're supposed to have that feeling, and you're supposed to feel good after the movie. And they did that. They covered a lot of Mario's journey and a lot of his story, because Mario has a variety of video games, and this was a daunting task to be able to merge them all together. So I thought they did very well that way.
No, they did great. Yeah, the factor for me, honestly, was the fact that they developed a plot line, they developed character growth, and then they stuck with that, and then sprinkled nostalgia, sprinkled, all the bells and whistles that bring out that that nostalgic feeling for a lot of the viewers. And then it's like you said, even the young ones who never played the game, they could follow along and be like, oh, okay, that's what that's about. Oh, that's Luigi. Oh, okay, that's Princess Peach. Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Blah, blah, blah. And they want to go home and play the game.
Right.
So that's the it factor for me, man. Yeah. Listen,
I think you really enjoyed it. Like just
I was a kid, man. I was in my seat, dangling my feet. I was like, yo, I'm 5 years old again.
Right.
I'm excited.
It was nice from beginning to end. I just loved the introduction and the comedy aspect of it. All in all, guys, the Super Mario Bros. Movie has reached and passed the cinema scale, giving it a score of 9 out of 10. We really enjoyed watching it. We hope that you guys will enjoy watching it too. They have done exceptionally well in connection with their revenue. Unfortunately, I'm pretty tight. Like, they sold out of those popcorn buckets. I was really upset. Went to 2 theaters and they're sold out. I went to Menlo to try to get one that was out. Went to Linden, they were sold out, and it was just, so I was a little tight about that. But other than that, guys, great film. I would recommend that you go see this movie. If you do want to wait for it to come out on TV, you will feel good after seeing it. But if you want something to do that's going to really,
don't wait.
You back.
Don't wait. Just go to the theaters. Just go to the theaters. Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't
would
wait.
personally recommend.
No, don't wait. No.
That you go to the
theaters. Go to the theaters.
But if you,
what he said.
If you don't want to go to the theaters, you want to see it at home.
Don't be a bum. Dish out $10. Get a movie.
Yeah, catch a
matinee. $7. Come on.
Easy peasy. Anyways, guys, this has been another episode of the Cinema Scale. DK, we appreciate you being here, helping us out as always. Man. Love you, man. You're the best. And we got some exciting things coming up in the future.